Will Batchelder, Caleb Kenny, Nolan Dorsey, and, of course, Jarrell Gates in the starting five for Holy Cross. For Sacred Heart, Bryce Johnson, Nico Gillette, Raheem Solomon, and Mike Sixsmith with Joey Riley in the backcourt.
And Holy Cross will play a straight man-to-man, Randy. On the other end, Sacred Heart, they'll play in a man-to-man, but they'll do a lot of switching on the half court.
That's a kick ball. Riley looked to move it to the corner. Gillette leading the Pioneers at 15.5 points a game, 6.8 rebounds a game. 4 Pioneers in double figures, including Joey Riley at 10.5 a game. Gillette looking to put together an all-conference kind of year. Raheem Solomon, the pull-up contested jump shot is short. And Holy Cross is in possession. Running their point, Will Batchelder out of Newburyport, New York. Massachusetts. Wrong Newburyport.
And Randy, right away you see the mismatch. Give Brett Nelson and his staff a lot of credit. Sacred Heart had to switch, and the advantage was in Holy Cross's favor as Joey Riley was guarding a 6'6" Jarrell Gates. Holy Cross noticed it, took advantage of it, and drew the foul.
Bryce Johnson stands his ground on Jarrell Gates. Well defended. The Pioneers set up. Sixsmith, the skip, Riley, the up fake, and then he steps inside the arc to knock down the first points of the game.
See, here's why I like Joey Riley. Not only has he stepped up, we talked about it in the highlight film, but he's so fundamentally sound, comes from a basketball family, little shot fake, and he took a step to get closer to the basket. A lot of players these days will go laterally, and that's not an easy shot, especially from three on the move.
Talk about that basketball family he comes from, East Catholic, poised for another great year in high school basketball with his cousin playing great for his uncle. Pull-up jump shot. Nico Gillette is short. The net is twisted on the rim. We play on.
All right, hold up. Let me go get it.
Yeah, you got that one, Joe, right? You can still get that,
yeah,
can't
right.
you?
You're right. With a ladder.
Just like Clark putting up lights on Christmas.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Clark, what's his name?
Clark Griswold.
There you go.
There it is.
Chevy Chase, right?
That might be my favorite holiday movie. You strike me as It's a Wonderful Life kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm
Coach.
an old school guy, no doubt about it. My favorite Christmas movie used to come out on Thanksgiving Day all the time was March of the Wooden Soldiers. That got me jacked up when I was young. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Nope, but Bo Montgomery knows something about putting the ball in the hoop. He knocks down a contested jump shot. He's the second leading scorer for Holy Cross at 11.5 a game. Behind the back, handles by Bryce Johnson, but too strong off the glass. Nolan Dorsey leading the pack. Up ahead, Gillette gets the block on Montgomery. Terrific defensive play by Nico Gillette as Bryce Johnson opens up a look for Raheem Solomon. He knocks down the three. The net continues to be twisted on the rim, but that doesn't stop Solomon.
Well, it's got to stop. The referees have got to notice that. Unless I don't know the rule, maybe there's not a rule. But good judgment says when the basket's made, blow the whistle, get someone up there to fix that net. But play on anyway.
5-2 Sacred Heart off the three-pointer by Solomon, the star from Hartford, who transferred from Niagara after a wonderful career in high school basketball at Sacred Heart High School in Waterbury. The push shot by Gates over a double team is short. Gillette's got a rebound. Nico Gillette is a forward who's got guard handles. He drives up into the front court and gets fouled by Caleb Kenny. Holy Cross goes with a substitution as Montgomery goes to the bench. Joe Octave is into the game. Solomon drives against the double team. Octave, fresh off the bench, made the defensive stop. And then he turns it over. The bounce pass into the paint, stolen by Gillette. Up ahead to Solomon to his left with a Euro for two more. 7-2 Sacred Heart.
Yeah, just a terrific move in transition by Solomon.
Three-pointer by Octave is short. Pioneers wanted a charge on Nolan Dorsey. Now Batchelder takes the three and misses. Gillette boxes out for the rebound that ends up in the hands of Johnson. Up to Riley. Straightaway three. Solomon stays hot. Raheem Solomon has hit his last three shots. 2 3-pointers. He's got 8 early. And a timeout called by Holy Cross to try to stop this run by Solomon, who's got 8 of the Pioneers' 10 points.
Joey Riley early on, Randy, making good decisions. We talked about the shot fake, getting into the lane, making that 15-footer, and that time under control in transition. Looked to his right, didn't like what he saw, went to his left, found Solomon. Good decision in transition by Sacred Heart and Joey Riley.
The timeout by the head coach, Brett Nelson. Back after this early start for Sacred Heart. They had their morning coffee. They woke up for this one, and they're up by 8. Students here enjoying a college basketball game before their holiday break, including students from John Winthrop Elementary. And the Pioneers have treated them to an 8-point lead. Good to see back on the floor for the Pioneers. Brendan McGuire, the transfer from Quinnipiac, injured very early on in the year. They expect some big things from him. They've been getting good play from Raymond Espinal Guzman off the bench, and he's also on the floor out of this timeout. Shot clock down to 5 for Holy Cross, and a foul is called on Raymond Espinal Guzman. He got a lot of ball, but might have caught him on the leg in the lower half.
I don't know. I didn't see any contact. I thought it was a great job. You know, when Gates gets it in that low block, he's a bull. He lists him at 6'6". He's probably more like 6'4.5", but he's very effective as an undersized 5-man. You see a lot of that, Randy, on this level. Sometimes it's not how big you are, it's how big you play. But once Espinal Guzman saw that Gates got it, and the body language showed that Gates was going to take it to the rim, Espinal was able to leave his man. Espinal Guzman was able to leave his man and create that block. It's a good decision on the fly right there for Raymond Espinal Guzman.
And with Gates on the free throw line, he goes 1 for 2. He's a 63% free throw shooter, so a great scorer, but not the most efficient free throw shooter. Solomon has another 3. Boy, has he come to play this morning. 11 points for Solomon. They call it a long 2. His foot was on the line, so it's 12-3, Sacred Heart. Still, he's in double figures before the eggs get cold at breakfast. The three-pointer by Dorsey is strong. Can I get enough breakfast references in before? It's not quite noon yet, so I probably have a couple more in me.
Yeah, well, at worst, we can call it a brunch.
Yes.
The bottom line is we both need to eat. That's the bottom line.
Raheem Solomon certainly getting his with 10 points early. Batchelder, running point. Holy Cross, cool from the floor to start. Gates. The Pioneers swallow up the post. 5 to shoot. Octave, the fadeaway. Beautiful shot by Joe Octave out of Gardena, California. The old school hook shot for Holy Cross. Proud program that claims a couple of Hall of Famers as alum, including Tommy Heinsohn. That was kind of Tommy-like, that hook shot. And in transition, Caleb Kenny, the dish. He turns a steal into 2 points. And all of a sudden, Holy Cross right back in it.
Did you name the other Hall of Famer?
Well, the great Bob Cousy,
Bob
of course.
Cousy, the Coos, yep.
Yes. Holy Cross, I mean, this was a proud program back in the day. They've won national championships. Hook shot by Riley misses. Picked 9th in the Patriot League preseason this year. Stolen by Sixsmith in the backcourt as he picks the pocket of Nolan Dorsey. McGuire, the take, and he gets blocked by Gates.
Left his feet, Randy. Made a nice move. He's big and strong for a guard. A little rusty. Made a decision. He looked like he was going to pass. Got caught in the air. Turnover.
6-0 run here for Holy Cross. Caleb Kenny the lay-in. And it's a one-possession game. Kenny's got 4. He averages 7.6 points a game. Has started all 12 games prior to today. McGuire takes the 3. It goes front rim. Rebound into the hands of Octave. Holy Cross could tie it with a 3 here. Gates opens up a look. Octave, the straightaway 3. Too much line on it. And no good.
Well, you can see Sacred Heart's philosophy on guarding Jarrell Gates. Terrific pass right there. But anytime he gets the ball, Gates in the post, there's going to be some type of double team, strong help. Sacred Heart actually got lucky. The open 3, the bad rotation from the slow rotation from the weak side allowed Octave to get the 3. Couldn't knock it in, though.
That was a terrific pass by Sixsmith, who gave it up for Raymond Espinal Guzman for the 2-hand slam. Jarrell Gates banging down low. It stays with the Crusaders. 12:01 left in the first.
That's again. I'm going to repeat myself. Every time Gates gets it, Sacred Heart does a good job of recognizing we got to do something to help, and that goes to scouting and coaching. Good job, Sacred Heart, from that end.
Dom Mello checks in for his first minutes. 6-foot guard from Ware, Massachusetts. The Pioneers get the steal. Give and go! It's Gillette from McGuire. Beautiful passing on the numbers situation for Sacred Heart. Gillette's got 2.
Well, you talked to Anthony Latine. I was at practice yesterday. He told me they have to get some easy baskets. Now, this is a Sacred Heart team. Randy, that's a good passing team, but the problem is in the last 6 games, they've had one game where they're positive assist-to-turnover ratio. So with McGuire back, that will help them. And he showed us right there with a beautiful pass for the easy 2.
Raymond Espinal Guzman secures the rebound. It leads to transition for Brendan McGuire. Sixsmith had a touch in there as well. McGuire opening up an 18-9 Pioneer lead as he hits the stat sheet.
Well, the defense with Sacred Heart, great scouting, is allowing them to get some easy basket. Exactly what Coach Latina wants.
Well, this has been a great start for Sacred Heart. They're involving everybody in the offense. Unselfish play, making the extra pass. The Pioneers have an 18-9 lead as we hit the media timeout. 11:08 to go in the first here from the Pitt Center on a Thursday morning. Sacred Heart looking to snap a skid. Holy Cross looking to snap one as well. But it's the Pioneers on top by 9.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 40. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Dear college sports,
there's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us.
And for college sports.
When you live where we live,
She got your toy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
when you meet the kind of people we get to meet,
Thanks for having me out today, Wally.
share their seasons, their good times, and when they need a helping hand, you pick up pretty quick that every little thing is a little more than it seems.
It's my Tuesday morning.
It's my helper.
It's my livelihood.
It's my pleasure.
It's at the heart of the community. It's more than food. It's my big why.
Randy Brochu and Joe DeSantis with you. Shannon Torres, our producer. And our thanks to our entire production crew today, which is a smaller crew. And that is how it goes during the holiday break when you rely on the talents of so many students, both undergrad and graduate. But to the crew that's here today, happy holidays, and thanks for being here so we can bring you Holy Cross and Sacred Heart.
Yeah, the small army behind the scenes will certainly make up for the lost souls. But right now, you look at the numbers, Randy. Give Sacred Heart a lot of credit defensively. Holy Cross 4 for 15, 0 for 4 from 3, no assists, 4 turnovers, and that's resulted in 12 fast break points for the Pioneers.
Gillette faked the 3, throws up a wild hook with a shot clock down to 4, way off the mark. Dorsey's got the rebound.
Yeah, a little bit of a force there. Everyone in this gym knows that Nico Gillette's one of the best players, if not the best player in the Northeast Conference and possibly in this gym. But he's got to come to a decision when he makes a dribble drive to be a little more under control and make good decisions, better plays for himself and his teammates.
Kenny with 5 to shoot up against Mello, a mismatch. One extra pass, and Sixsmith gets the block on the three-point attempt by Jaden Kirkwood off the bench, forcing the shot clock violation. Again, swallow-up defense by the Pioneers. This has been one of their better defensive efforts through 10 minutes that we've seen this year.
Well, no one's going to mistake Mike Sixsmith for Dikembe Mutombo and shot blocking.
No.
No. I like Cookie Monster. Anyway, but give Sacred Heart credit, their coaching staff, first of all, for getting this team ready to play. You not only have to defend the play as a defensive unit, but you also have to be able to cover for each other when you're in a scrambling mode. Sacred Heart does a lot of switching. They're doubling the post. So they're in a scrambling mode, able to come out and block that shot. Sixsmith with the great read on the defensive end.
Don Mello inspired man-on-man defense. Now he gets Dorsey on a switch. It goes to C, pull-up jump shot. They really had to work for it. Credit to Holy Cross and Jade C from Queens, who sinks it. McGuire with the Pioneers up by 7. Beautiful backdoor feed to Sixsmith with his left hand, which I believe is his offhand. He slings it inside to Sixsmith. Man, the Pioneers are snapping passes around here in the first half.
4 assists, 1 turnover. That's what Brendan McGuire gives you. He's a competent three-point shooter, but he doesn't come out shooting the 3 like gangbusters, but he's more of a big guard that can get himself in position, Randy, to make plays, whether in the lane, driving to the rim, or even, like I said, with his height and his length, able to see his teammates to make passes like he just did.
Gates back on the floor for Holy Cross. Sixsmith on the free throw line for 2. He hit the first, makes the second. Solomon in. Solid minutes from Sixsmith early on. 20-11, Sacred Heart. 9 minutes, 11 seconds left in the first half. The Pioneers look to close out non-conference strong. They've lost 5 in a row, but these losses, a couple of those quote-unquote up games like Pitt and St. Joe's, St. Joseph's in Philadelphia out of the Atlantic 10, their last opponent. Frustrating losses in there to more peer-like programs like UMass, Lowell, Pitt, and, of course, Fairfield, the crosstown rivalry game that you called, and it was a good effort for the Pioneers that day. There's been some good efforts in this 5-game losing streak.
I mentioned in the top of the show that both of these teams are better than their record. In other words, they played well enough to win. Sacred Heart has not had a full team in the last 10 games or so. Aiden Carpenter not available today. Okay, came back against Fairfield after being injured, then got sick, and now he's hurting again. McGuire, first game back, has only played a couple of games on the year, is back. He played 3 games. This is his 4th game on the year. And then at the other end, Holy Cross has 2 6'10 guys, Koulibaly and Rabinovich, who are out for the year with lower leg injuries. But the bottom line is Holy Cross is picked 9th in their conference. It's a good conference. It's going to be a tough climb for them. Sacred Heart, if they can get healthy and play hard and play together, they're picked 2nd. They have a chance to be an NEC champ at the end of the season.
The way they're moving the ball around today, I think this is what you expected from a team that's got a lot of talent. That was a air ball on the miss by McGuire, and time runs out on the shot clock for Sacred Heart. But, Coach, I'll ask you to go back in the day when you were preparing for a Northeast Conference season. How did you approach, and what is similar for these Sacred Heart Pioneers in approach using your last non-conference game with NEC play beginning next time out on Thursday?
Yeah, that never – knowing that you had a conference game coming up didn't matter. You played to win. You played – when you have Brendan McGuire missing 9 games and Aiden Carpenter missing 8 games, that is a problem, not only because you missed their apprentices, but when they come back, the team is not used to playing with each other. This group here that's been playing has been pretty good despite the record losing 5 in a row. Sixsmith has been struggling. He played well against Fairfield. Joey Riley's been great. So my point is, when the 2 players, Carpenter and McGuire, are healthy, they got to, get themselves back into the team concept. But this conference that Sacred Heart is in, the Northeast Conference, they're going to be a player. So you got to play to win every game. But the big thing is, if you're Anti-Latina, you got to make sure you're smart with your minutes with McGuire, and when Aiden Carpenter comes back, you minute with him, because you don't want them to be hurt again come conference play.
Offensive rebound that time by Gates. Keeps the possession going for Holy Cross. Bo Montgomery lays it in. It's a 5-point game. Montgomery's got 4. Significant minutes here for Dom Mello, as the Pioneers also look to figure out what that rotation is going to look like come Thursday. Well, Nico Gillette is going to be right in the middle of it. The leading scorer for the Pioneers, a contested 15-foot jump shot.
Has the ability with his strength to get to where he needs to go on this level. Under control, nice and balanced, good decision, good pull-up.
22-15, Sacred Heart. Nolan Dorsey finds an open man in the corner. C rolls it underneath. Last touch by Holy Cross. Sacred Heart gets the possession when we come back. 6:27 to go in the first. It's the Pioneers over the Crusaders, 22-15 on this Thursday morning from Sacred Heart.
This NEC Front Row broadcast on the SHU Sports Network is brought to you by Trumbull Pizza Company, serving great pizza and Italian dishes in Fairfield County for over 48 years.
(22-15), Sacred Heart over Holy Cross. The Pioneers looking for win number 6. Again, 5 consecutive losses to UMass Lowell, Fairfield, Pitt, Stony Brook, and St. Joe's. But all that matters at this level, and coaches don't always love to say it because, and to your point that you just mentioned, you play to win every game. But the real season in the NEC and the Patriot League begins after the first of the year. For Sacred Heart, well, actually it won't be after the first. It's going to be December 29th, next Thursday, when they host Stonehill to begin NEC play.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You want to get your team ready. The conference is the most important. This league gets an automatic bid. And it's interesting, Randy, with Bryant and Mount St. Mary's leaving the Northeast Conference and Stonehill added, and Merrimack still has a year to go in the transition state. Merrimack got a waiver from the NCAA to play in the conference tournament to make that 8. But if they win the league, they still can't go to the NCAA tournament.
Oh, Dom Mello, nasty. Couple of behind-the-back dribbles and a sweet-looking lefty 3.
He's a scorer. Doesn't play a whole lot. Getting some minutes with Brendan McGuire out. Even though Brendan's back, he's going to be limited minutes. And Aiden Carpenter out. He can score the thing. Nice one move, good finish.
That is a sweet left-handed stroke he's got. And he's playing inspired today. Step back, jump shot by Bo Montgomery. Looking to make the moves on Joey Riley. It's short. Here's Mello. The handles. Raheem Solomon leading the way for the Pioneers. Slips it to Bryce Johnson. Going for the dunk. And then he hangs on the rim with a foul whistled.
I didn't hear the whistle.
Yeah, they're going to give it to Bo Montgomery, but I didn't hear it as well.
We got some kids in the audience. Maybe somebody screamed at the same time the whistle went off. But I didn't hear the whistle. I'm like, what is Bryce Johnson doing hanging on the rim? That's going to be a tee. But, Randy, I got to make a point. If you're Holy Cross, your best player is Gerald Gates, okay? 70 points a game. He's 50% from the field. He goes to the line about 5 times a game. You got to get him the ball. Now, they are getting him the ball, but Sacred Heart's doing a good job of double teaming. Here's the adjustment you have to make. Gates has got to work harder in the post to get the ball, Randy, in a position where he can just catch it and score right away. The further he away is from the basket, that's more time to give Sacred Heart the double team. They got to make that adjustment at halftime.
Really good effort by Nico Gillette in the backcourt. He nearly had the steal, but stepped out of bounds. Meanwhile, a couple made free throws by Bryce Johnson. That's a welcome sight. Man, a Sacred Heart can hit their free throws, especially with those big men, and get really feeling good at the free throw line going into conference play. That's going to make them all the tougher. As Joe mentioned, picked second in the preseason poll. Gillette a 3. That's not the shot the Pioneers wanted. Dorsey the rebound.
You know, you look at it and you can scrutinize it and you can say, you know, I agree with you. It's not the shot they wanted because that's a shot they can get later in the possession.
Inside, it's a lay-in by Bo Montgomery. 27-19, the Pioneers.
So if Gerald Gates is not going to get you inside points, the adjustment you can make, spread your team out, go to a 5-out offense because Jarrell can play in the perimeter and drive the ball a little more. There's a need here for Holy Cross to get some easy baskets with the last 4 minutes till halftime.
Dom Mello's out there a long time. Really significant minutes from Dom Mello. Looks like he's earned himself some more playing time with Anthony Latina. Montgomery got a pass past Mello. Great ball movement here by Holy Cross. All 5 men with a touch and a lay-in by Joe Octave. A real good up fake in the corner by Nolan Dorsey led to it.
Well, there's a lot of hockey assists. As you know, I don't know a red line from a blue line, Randy, but there's a lot of hockey assists there. Give Gates credit. He got the ball to the weak side on the double team. That automatically puts Holy Cross in a scramble, Sacred Heart in a scramble mode. Little shot fake by Jade C. Makes the extra pass. If Gates has got to become an effective player because of the double teams, he can do that by becoming a passer.
Talk about the hockey look to Holy Cross. Guy that got the ball right now, he's got hockey hair. Sweet locks, Nolan Dorsey. And, of course, Holy Cross and Sacred Heart are rivals in Atlantic hockey. Holy Cross will be coming to the brand-new, beautiful Martiri Family Arena. My basketball brother, Joe DeSantis, can't get into it, but man, I can't wait for hockey night on campus. Holy Cross and Sacred Heart will play later on this season at Martiri Family Arena. Lots to look forward to in the month of January with the brand new hockey arena, and of course, here on the Hardwood Conference play right around the corner in the NEC. 27-21, Sacred Heart, 3:04 to go in the first. Our final media timeout of the first half sees the Pioneers on top by 6.
Coming in 2023, the Martiri Family Arena. Over 122,000 square feet creates room for 4,000 fans and the 85 by 200 NHL standard rink. Sacred Heart University drops the puck on January 14th and 15th against Boston College and Harvard. We'll see you on the ice.
27-21, Sacred Heart with the lead. They're outrunning the Crusaders, beating them on the fast break 12-4. Holy Cross winning the battle inside. Points in the paint favor the Crusaders 16-8. Solomon leading the way for the Pioneers with 10.
Holy Cross picking up their defense somewhat. In the last 3.5 minutes, Holy Cross has forced 4 Sacred Heart turnovers and only 2 assists for the Pioneers.
Good ball movement again by the Pioneers. The pass to McGuire from Sixsmith, as you always are fond of saying, Coach. A bounce pass to the big man inside, and it results in free throws for Raymond Espinal-Guzman.
All interior passes should be bounce passes. That's where the traffic is. That's where the arms are. And the arms very rarely go down to your ankles, so it's important to make that pass. You know, I'm looking at this Holy Cross team, and I noticed now they have 16 points in the paint. And Gerald Gates has not scored a point yet. So they are actually he has 3. My fault. He's got 3 free throws, but he has none of them have a field goal. But I looked at their numbers. You know, this is an old school type team, Randy. They only attempt 18 threes per game. That's low in comparison to Sacred Heart, who's at 26 threes per game. So they're a team that's going to beat you with the tough twos.
Anthony Latina make a play as that skip pass that was intended for Nolan Dorsey ends up in the hands of Coach Latina. Here's another good sign, Joe. Sacred Heart 6 for 6 from the free throw line, because that's been a problem for them in non-conference and in years past.
Yeah, no doubt. They're 68% on the year. They got to be better. This is a team that plays 5 perimeter players, so realistically, you know, you're not sending a 6'11". I hate to be judgmental, but you're not expecting that. You don't have a Shaq or someone like that going to the foul line. But they'll improve, I'm sure, as the year goes on.
McGuire to Riley inside for Espinal-Guzman, driving the baseline and stopped by Dorsey. Going for the steal, McGuire. Well, he's got spring to his step. McGuire looks good. He could dish it, man. A couple of sweet no-look bounce passes, and the Pioneers playing really unselfish here in the first half. It's good to see.
Well, they are a good passing team. That's why I'm a little surprised that they've struggled in the last 6 games with assisted turnover. But with McGuire back, you get Carpenter back, you start to play in your conference. Like I said, I think their assisted turnover ratio will be better.
The pass sneaks inside to Gates. He lays it in for his first field goal. The lob to McGuire from half court by Sixsmith. Anthony Latina did not like that play. That's not what you need with 1:36 to go in the first half. It is a low percentage, high risk, low reward kind of play. It's a turnover in a 2-possession game with a minute and a half to go. And Holy Cross has the rock with 90 seconds left in the first half. Looking for some momentum off that turnover. And then Riley takes it away. Looked like C dribbled it right into his hands. In transition, a miss by Solomon. Offensive rebound. And a soft touch for Brendan McGuire on the putback.
McGuire possesses those instincts of a basketball player. Knowing when to make the right pass, how to make the right pass. In that situation, knowing where to go to get the offensive rebound.
Holy Cross turns it over on consecutive possessions. Bryce Johnson checks in for the Pioneers with 1:07 to go in the first. Looking for a little separation. And you can go 2 for 1 here with 1 minute left, 24 on the shot clock. If you hurry. Shot clock down to 15. Solomon to Johnson. Open look, a 3. Short. Holy Cross has the rebound. Gates with a defensive board. 45 left in the half. 25 on the shot clock. Holy Cross has burned a timeout already, so they don't have their use it or lose it. Sacred Heart looking for a stop. Anthony Latina's got his use it or lose it if he wants. A 3 for Dorsey off the money. Sixsmith's got it. And Anthony Latina says, hold for one shot. He's not going to use the timeout. And now he is. 15 seconds. He kind of surveyed the situation and said, let's draw something up. What are you drawing up here?
First of all, I think you were right on. I don't think he was going to use it, but for some reason didn't like what he saw. Again, maybe having Brendan McGuire on the floor and not having been on the floor disrupted his train of thought. But the bottom line is you got Sacred Heart has almost 5 guys in double figures, so you got a lot of different options out there. You want Gillette get the ball in a situation where he can be effective. I don't think getting him the ball at the top of the key and let him go one-on-one is the right situation because he tends to do too much. I want to see a lot of movement, a lot of nothing. Well, it's only 15 seconds, 0.4, so I'm going to say a little movement, get the ball back to Gillette, give him a little bit of a ball screen, let him make a play.
He's their leading scorer on the season, Nico Gillette.
The problem is he's not on the court, so my bad. Okay?
Interesting.
If you get him the ball on the bench, it's going to be a turnover. Look the ball to get back to Riley. Brendan McGuire is going to get a ball screen here, so I'm way off. He's going to try and make a play for himself or his teammates.
He's got the ball. Johnson the handoff for McGuire, and then they turn it over. How frustrating is that? 4 seconds to go in the first half. Up for the layup. No good by Octave. And then Bryce Johnson secured it to make sure there was no second chance putback.
And R.J. Evans, who played at Holy Cross, was a 1,200-point scorer. As a graduate, went to UConn, played about 15 minutes a game. I think it's safe to say if there was a game of horse or any type of competition between the two staffs that Holy Cross would win going away.
Johnny Kidd was a pretty good shooter at CCSU back when. You ever see Johnny play?
No, but I can just picture what type of play. The guy looks like he can still play now.
Nico Gillette on the fast break. Another Pioneer forced turnover. Holy Cross has had a knack for coughing it up, especially down the stretch of the second. That is their 9th turnover.
And they average, 13 turnovers per game. I thought Sacred Heart's defense was great early, getting some steals, getting some baskets. Then I think Holy Cross made an adjustment. Good start for both teams out of the gate.
Bo Montgomery knocks down the corner 3. That's the first 3-pointer of the game for Holy Cross. Raheem Solomon looking for the answer. He led the Pioneers in the first half. 4 of 8 from the floor, 2 for 4 from behind the arc. 10 points for Solomon. And a foul underneath. (33-26) Sacred Heart.
Bryce Johnson, Randy, was quiet in that first half. Little over 11 minutes, 2 points and 3 rebounds. Averages about 2 offensive rebounds there. You know you're going to hear from him because that young man plays really, really hard.
There he is, taking the inbounds feed, crossing over, driving, and on cue, laying it up over Caleb Kenny.
You know, Bryce Johnson's the ultimate team player. He plays hard. He makes plays for his teammates from the perimeter as a quote-unquote big guy. But you know that when players go into the locker room and they don't have a high point production, they're going to look. They're going to look to make a little bit of a mark in the second half in terms of scoring points. And again, Bryce Johnson is a very unselfish player. He's not going to do anything out of character or try to upset team chemistry. But guys like that are aware of their point production.
Bryce Johnson grabs the rebound off the Will Batchelder miss. Sixsmith hasn't attempted a shot yet in this one. Riley couldn't save it. I don't know if he needed to try to save it. It looked like Holy Cross was the last to touch. It looked like the pass to Riley from Gillette might have been deflected, but it is Crusaders basketball. Well, Riley might have seen something that we didn't from press row. He sees the floor very well, so we're going to trust his instincts. Solomon on Batchelder. Kenny the handoff from Montgomery. Ducks his shoulder into Johnson and goes to his offhand to lay it in.
0 for 8, 0 for 9 rather from 3.
Solomon goes to the line as he tries to scoop on Nolan Dorsey, who had not established positioning. And free throws coming for Solomon.
Let me backtrack, please. 0 for 8 in the first half from 3, Holy Cross. I thought they made an adjustment somewhere in the end of that first half to start to take the ball to the paint. And you saw it there with Caleb Kenny getting into the rim. That's 20 paint points out of 28 for Holy Cross.
Solomon sinks the first. He's got 11. Trying to go one over his jersey number from the free throw line. Hey, how about 8 for 8 from the free throw line as a team?
First of all, I love Solomon's game. I think he always comes ready to play. He seems to get off to good starts pretty much every game. We joke about how Anthony Latine and his staff were first in line in the transfer portal for MAC transfers. Solomon coming from Niagara, Carpenter, Siena, Brendan McGuire from Quinnipiac.
You know, in this era of the transfer portal, as Kenny lays it in with the left hand, you wonder how long it does take for a team to get that feel for each other. I know they played all summer in the gym, but when you're out there playing against different colored jerseys and it counts, maybe it takes a little time.
Well, there's no question it's going to take more time than it did in the past. You know, a coach's dream.
Ooh, Sixsmith drains a three with a hand in his face to put the Pioneers up by 10.
You know, my formula for championship teams is balance, experience, and depth. And it's hard to see that these days, bringing back players to help in that equation with experience. But everyone's on the same page now, Randy. Everyone's losing guys and gaining guys.
I've heard coaches say, I love this one too, when you get to conference, there's no such thing as freshmen anymore. You've got enough games and minutes under your belt, especially if you're a significant player, that by this time of the year you should have caught up to the speed of college basketball. And I wonder if the same holds true as a team, as a unit.
There's no doubt. The more you work together, the better you're going to be as a unit. But, you know, I hear people say what you just said, you're no longer a freshman. But as you're growing as your freshman, your opponents are also growing as sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So everything's relative. But it takes a special freshman nowadays to come in and make an impact. Because typically if you're going to a Division I program as a freshman, you're going to have to compete. You may sign with a program in November, and then by the middle or the end of the season, you may sign with a program as a freshman. You're going to play. The coaches tell you, all of a sudden they bring in transfers that are 50 or seniors, and then you're screwed. But that's the way of the world, and that's the adjustment you have to make.
It's a 9-point Sacred Heart lead with Batchelder running the offense. Johnson's got him. Nice thing about Johnson as a big man is he does have guard skills and can play one-on-one against a point guard. Did well there, and Octave steps out of bounds.
No doubt. The game has changed so much. I remember back in the day not too long ago when there was you played point, you played wing, you played the other wing, you play the post, you play the high post, 3 out, 2 in. Now everybody's pretty much a perimeter player, and that's why you see a lot of switching on defense, especially by a Sacred Heart team.
Great pass by Sixsmith. He fires a fastball inside to Joey Riley, and Sixsmith, the guard here for Sacred Heart, who was a great high school baseball player, looked like he was spinning a double play there. Great pass.
Well, I talk a lot about Sacred Heart's ability to make passes. They have a lot of guys that can make that play. He's 3 assists, 1 turnover today. He's almost a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio.
Octave bullies his way in for the bank shot. Now 42-33 Sacred Heart. Riley, jab stepping on Montgomery, reversing it. And no good. It bounced off the rim twice with McGuire going up. I wonder if McGuire might have inadvertently altered that shot by touching the rim. Up fake. Octave into the paint. Kick out Gates to the corner. Step back 3. Good for Bo Montgomery.
So Jarrell Gates has become a passer. It's been hard for him. He's got 1 field goal to get good looks inside because of the Sacred Heart defense. But he should get an assist out to Montgomery. Even though Montgomery shot fake 1 bounce, in my book, that's an assist.
Solomon misses the contested 3 off the handoff and screen. It's a 2-possession game here. A little more than 5 minutes into the second half. Pioneers up 42-36 on the Crusaders.
And the ironic thing, if that's an assist for him, that's his first. But he's done a pretty good job at the end of the first half of passing out of the double team.
Octave rips a long 2. His foot on the line. And it's a 4-point game. Holy Cross playing their way back from a deficit. Sacred Heart led by as much as 10. Riley, kick out, wide open 3. McGuire. He missed, but Riley has the rebound find him.
Good shooters will make an adjustment. And again, you can make an excuse or it could be a reason. Brendan McGuire has been short on all 3 of his long attempts. He's got to use his legs more.
There's McGuire. Shot clock down to 3. Riley in rhythm, corner 3. Hits the side of the backboard for a shot clock violation. It's a 7-0 run for Holy Cross going into the media timeout. And we've got a 4-point game with 13:49 to go. Sacred Heart 42, Holy Cross 38. Back after this on NEC Front Row.
For all your hard work, the studying, practices, and rehearsals, you deserve the best for what's next. The best in Connecticut higher education. Outstanding nursing and health professions programs, premier learning facilities and world-class tech labs, a nationally ranked business school, modern residential, social, and recreational facilities, championship D1 athletics, and pro-level performing arts. Make your next step the best step. Apply now to Sacred Heart University.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. Incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Dear college students,
There's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
we found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
When we meet, we see the light of the all.
We see a better world for all of us.
And college sports.
Right before the holiday break, great to see students from local schools on a field trip here for a college basketball game. I know there's some kids from John Winthrop Elementary, and they are entertained to a 4-point game. between Sacred Heart and Holy Cross. The Pioneers 5-7 all time against Holy Cross, but beat them running away in 2019, the last time these two programs met, an 89-68 Sacred Heart win.
Well, Holy Cross hanging around because they've done a better job of taking the ball to the rim. They still have not hit a three, but also defensively, in that first half with 9 minutes to go, Sacred Heart had 12 fast break points, mainly because they were turning the ball over, Holy Cross was. Well, right now, with about 13 minutes to go, Randy, Holy Cross, Sacred Heart has only 16 fast break points. So in the last 16 minutes, only 4 fast break points. Doing a better job of taking care of the ball, Holy Cross is.
Sacred Heart with a really strong defensive effort, minus getting the board. And Joe Octave takes advantage of the second opportunity. They are shutting down Gates. It's a 2-point game, 42-40, and Solomon turns it over. Holy Cross looking for the lead. Octave knocks down the three, and the Crusaders are on top. 43-42. Holy Cross has stormed back from a 10-point deficit here in the second half.
And Randy, I'm not going to call it a big possession, but the momentum has shifted. Holy Cross feeling good. It's time now for somebody to step up for Sacred Heart.
There's Sixsmith on the backdoor cut from McGuire, and it breaks up a 12-0 Crusaders run. The Pioneers back on top, 44-43. The drive is no good by Gates, deflected by Espinal Guzman. It stays in play. Kenny the layup, no good. Espinal Guzman the back tap. It ends up with Riley. Up to Sixsmith. Across to Solomon. He steps back for three and is short. And it'll roll out of bounds. Gates recognizing that the possession goes back to the Crusaders on the ball out of bounds.
Randy, you've heard me say this a zillion times. We worked together a few years. The hardest teams to guard are the ones that make you guard on the length of the court and the width of the court. That time, fast break, secondary opportunity, if you will, numbers opportunity. Sixsmith on the right side. It was Joey Riley, on the right side. They have to get back. Holy Cross does. It's a beautiful skip pass. Now they got to shift. They're in a little bit of sense of urgency. Shot fake by Solomon. Got his man up. Open three. Just couldn't nail it.
Holy Cross within one behind this 12-2 run. They went 0 for the first half from downtown. They're 3 for 3 from behind the arc in the second half. And as a team from the floor, shooting 8 of 11 in the second half. Got a foul here against Sacred Heart. It's on Joey Riley, his second, bringing us into another break. 11:40 to go in the second. Sacred Heart by 1. 44-43 over Holy Cross.
When you live where we live,
Thank you.
when you meet the kind of people we get to meet,
Thanks for having me out today, Wally.
share their seasons, their good times, and when they need a helping hand, you pick up pretty quick that every little thing is a little more than it seems.
It's my Tuesday morning.
It's my helper.
It's my livelihood.
It's my pleasure.
It's at the heart of the community. It's more than food. It's my big why.
This NEC Front Row broadcast on the SHU Sports Network is brought to you by Trumbull Pizza Company, serving great pizza and Italian dishes in Fairfield County for over 48 years.
Hey, Joe, you always know that the top row, that's where the most fun is, right? Look at these guys having themselves a day. And it's good to see the kids still know Space Jam. They were getting down to, and that's the original Space Jam, not with LeBron, with Michael.
There's only one spaceman, my friend. What'd I say? Spaceman. Space Jam.
The original.
I'm a spaceman.
You're the spaceman. You're right. There is only one spaceman, and I'm working with him. Here's Raymond Espinal-Guzman going up for the block.
I've been called worse.
You and Bill Lee, right? You know, and not probably one of your favorite players, the great Yankee fan you are.
I loved him because we used to beat him all the time.
I think he ended his career.
Yep, Craig Nettles dislocated his shoulder.
Espinal-Guzman, the backdoor cut. Sacred Heart running a lot of backdoor cuts to the big men on the interior bounce pass. Unfortunately for the Pioneers, though, McGuire couldn't handle it, and it's out of bounds, giving Holy Cross the possession.
Well, that's an adjustment Sacred Heart made. They got some easy baskets early in the game. Holy Cross defensively was struggling. They picked up their intensity, Holy Cross. A lot of passing denials. You got to go backdoor. Good read. Beautiful backdoor. Beautiful read there.
Terrific drive by Dorsey, keeping the dribble low. Slipping it inside for the lay-in by Gates. Holy Cross back on top. Sixsmith, the three, and a miss. What an offensive rebound, and then a reverse layup by Nico Gillette to put the Pioneers back in the advantage.
Gillette's got the ability to beat you in so many different ways. You saw one of them right there.
46-45, Pioneers. We've got an offensive foul underneath, illegal screen on Jarrell Gates.
Hey, Randy, what happens, what we're seeing a lot of right here, I mentioned early Sacred Heart will switch, even if it's a mismatch. A lot of teams switch like handoffs, like screens. In other words, players that are participating in that particular play are the same size. You had a mismatch there with Sixsmith and Gates. So what happens is there's a lot of contact, okay? And the littler guy has to be more physical. And sometimes the big guy gets a little upset at that physicalness and retaliates. And a lot of times the referees get the second physical part of the play. Gates got called for the foul there.
Raymond Espinal-Guzman, the lay-in. 10 minutes to go in the second half. The Pioneers lead by 3. You know, Espinal-Guzman nearly slipped. Could have been a turnover, but he was able to recollect his footing, keep the positioning alive, and then a nice play underneath for the lay-in. Now another answer from Jarrell Gates, the leading scorer for the Crusaders. 10 points for big number 10. He's into double figures, and it's a one-point game.
Yeah, that's 30 paint points out of the 47. Again, Holy Cross has not made a three yet. Am I losing my mind? They've made 3 threes. My bad. They were 0 for 8 in the first half. They're doing a good job of getting the ball into the paint.
Don Mello is wide open, almost too open. And it goes strong. 48-47, Sacred Heart on top. Holy Cross with the lead. Back and forth we go. An entertaining second half. 1-point game between the Crusaders out of the Patriot League. Looking to take the lead on the quarter three. No good for Dorsey. McGuire for the Pioneers. Mello to Sixsmith. McGuire. Octave's got him defensively. Around Gillette, screen, then back to Nico. Octave gets him on a switch. Gillette keeps it. Espinal-Guzman. Dribble drive into a double team. McGuire's wide open for 3. In and out. Offensive rebound, Sixsmith. And he escapes out of the baseline with a pass out to Mello. 12 to shoot for Sixsmith, driving, reversing hands. And he might have got poked in the eye as he goes to the line for free throws.
You know, it's good defensive possession by Holy Cross. The problem is they didn't finish the possession. Sixsmith snuck in there and was able to get the offensive rebound. Eventually the ball got back to him, made a strong move to the basket.
Sixsmith, maybe the one-eye thing helps him from the free throw line. You know, kind of like when you're shooting darts. Lines it up. Sixsmith's been pretty successful from the free throw line. He goes 2 for 2. The Pioneers are perfect. 10 for 10 from the free throw line in the game.
You know, Randy, you mentioned about Sixsmith's free throw shooting. He came in as a freshman, 91%, so it's so hard to go up from there. He's actually been in some shooting slumps. You know, I thought at Fairfield in the second half he made 3 threes. I thought he was on his way, but then he got sick, and he missed a couple of games, and kind of, hasn't really shot it that much today, but he's a young man, Mike Sixsmith. When he gets hot from the perimeter, he can carry a team.
Again, the Pioneers doing themselves favors today from the free throw line. A perfect 10 for 10. McGuire maintains the possession. Riley a three, and he rips it. Joey Riley barely had the basketball on his fingertips as he knocks down the corner three. 53-47, Sacred Heart. Timeout, Holy Cross. 7:42 to go in the second half. The Pioneers up by 6. Doing it from the free throw line and behind the three-point line this afternoon at home.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Joey Riley having himself a solid day against his former team, Holy Cross. 7 points. He's 3 for 6 from the field. He just hit his first three-pointer in 2 attempts. A couple of rebounds, and maybe as important for the point guard, 3 assists, no turnovers.
We've talked about it a lot. He's really, really stepped up. This is a young man who improved so much from last year. Obviously, a lot more playing time, averaged about 18 minutes last year. This year, up to about 29 minutes, taking full advantage of the extra playing time.
Gates inside. He's heating up. Gates has 12. Holy Cross starting to get more production inside from their leading scorer, Jarrell Gates. First-team All-Patriot League preseason, averaging 17 points a game, up from 16.2 last year. Heating up here in the second. But the Pioneers trading threes for twos, looking for another three. McGuire bangs it. 56-49, Sacred Heart.
Randy, he missed his first three terribly short. I mentioned he's got to use his legs. The last three he took, the fourth three he took, went in and out. I said to myself, it looks like he's made an adjustment. That one, obviously nothing but the bottom of the net.
The Pioneers with their 7th three-pointer today. C to his left. Jade C against 3 defenders off the window.
Well, I was about to criticize C because, the Gates got triple teamed at that time, and he held it, and eventually he kicked it out. But most of the Sacred Heart defenders were on the right side. That ball's got to go to the left side. It didn't. It stayed in C's hand, and he finished in traffic.
Raymond Espinal Guzman, the lay-in off another good pass from McGuire. Man, McGuire is slinging it today. He's got the ball. McGuire to Gillette. Under 6 minutes to go in regulation. The Pioneers by 7. And the ball is poked free. A strong defensive play for Holy Cross by Caleb Kenny. Leading to transition. Octave finds the big man, Gates. He gives it to C. The hook runner off the window, too strong. Defensive rebound, Gillette. Sixsmith protects.
You watch C make that last basket. and almost made a basket there and a good drive, was not able to finish. Every coach looks for that player off the bench to make a difference. And right now, Holy Cross's bench is making a difference. 19 points, and we still got about 5.5 minutes to go.
There's that backdoor cut. It's Sixsmith this time. He got rejected by Kenny. A battle for the loose ball. Gillette coming in to help out. Last touch by Octave, and it stays with Sacred Heart. Coming up on the final 5 minutes of regulation. 3 on the shot clock when we come back from this media timeout. Pioneers are up against the shot clock, but they lead by 7 with 5:12 remaining in regulation. Sacred Heart 58, Holy Cross 51.
And the Pioneers are your 2021 NEC champs. The LIU Sharks are your 2022 Northeast Conference baseball champions. She did not miss that time. Olivia Eula has given St. Francis a big lead now at 6-1.
And here comes Wilcox on the run, 1-on-3.
Oh!
Takes
Whoa!
it to the hole.
Whoa!
Nearly
Whoa!
blocked
Whoa!
by the rim, but he finishes with the
Whoa.
flourish.
Up the middle of the end zone, it's caught! Touchdown! Merrimack with an answer. Big time throw from Zergiotis. Angie Raptor caps it off with a 5K victory.
Stanley against Bergdorf.
Wow! Once again, big time.
Pioneers got to run a quick play. They get it into Gillette, who throws down a dunk on the inbounds pass from Sixsmith up against the shot clock. And with 5 minutes to go, Sacred Heart leads by 9.
Beautiful play designed out of the timeout. A little shocking it was that easy. No weak side help. You got to know when that shot clock's running down and you're on the weak side help. You know, nowadays sometimes you're a little hesitant about helping because they're going to kick out for 3. But there's no time for Nico Gillette there to kick it out. So you got to commit to helping right away. Holy Cross didn't.
Nico Gillette into double figures now at 10 points. Foul committed by Raymond Espinal Guzman, putting Jarrell Gates on the line, and he misses the free throw. Holy Cross as a team from the free throw line, 4 for 7. And again, the Pioneers a perfect 10 for 10 today.
Yeah, this is one part of the game that Gates has got to get better at. He's so aggressive around the basket that he goes to the foul line enough, and he's only shooting about 62%. So he's got to get there, especially late in the games. He's got to be able to make those.
Can't help but watch him on the free throw line as a big man, maybe struggling. Been watching that documentary on HBO on Shaq, which is awesome. And how teams just put him on the line. They said, you're going to beat us from the free throw line because he and Jarrell Gates could do things like that. A throwdown tomahawk dunk by Jarrell Gates, and it's a 2-possession game.
And no celebration, just a look on his face like, I'm going to take over this game. That's a monster dunk. Not only was it a monster dunk, he got through that lane so quick that no one from Sacred Heart was there to help. I don't know if they wanted to get in his way.
Joey Riley travels. He went up and down, thinking about putting a 3 over Octave, then realized he didn't have the shooting lane. It's back to Holy Cross with 4:02 to go in the second, and the big throwdown dunk for Holy Cross by their guy, Jarrell Gates, maybe giving them some life here late.
Hey, Randy, sometimes a basket means 2 points, but sometimes it means more than 2 points.
Yep.
They got energized there, the Holy Cross team, especially on the bench. Let's see if they can gain some more momentum. A good way to get some momentum is to get number 10 the ball in the low post. Let him make a play.
He's up to 15 points in the game. C works himself in there against Raymond Espinal-Guzman, who gets the stop. Playing big minutes here down the stretch. Riley from Gillette. Skip. Sixsmith. Pioneers need a basket here to break that momentum. Gillette got plenty of time. Sixsmith's going to take a three and nail it! Mike Sixsmith with a big three-pointer for the Pioneers.
Huge three, and give Gillette a lot of credit. He got the ball in the post. He was defended pretty well. He became a passer, delivered the assist.
This one's got a feel of a conference game.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great point.
Here in the non-conference finale for both Sacred Heart and Holy Cross. We got a timeout on the floor or a foul? It is a timeout taken by Holy Cross. And it's a full media timeout with 3:01 to go in regulation. 3:04, I should say, as they put 3 more seconds on the clock. Sacred Heart 63, Holy Cross 54. The Pioneers up by 9 with 3 minutes to go, looking to close out the Crusaders.
For all your hard work, the studying, practices, and rehearsals, you deserve the best for what's next. The best in Connecticut higher education. Outstanding nursing and health professions programs, premier learning facilities and world-class tech labs, a nationally ranked business school, modern residential, social, and recreational facilities, championship D1 athletics, and pro-level performing arts. Make your next step the best step. Apply now to Sacred Heart University.
My old school didn't have a master's program in media and broadcasting, and so I knew I had to find a place that was going to offer that and that I could also still play football at a high level. Sacred Heart checked every single box. They have a growing program that's doing very well, and it's in the media hub of the world. I've learned things that you wouldn't learn from just being in a classroom unless your teachers were professionals who have actually done the things that we want to do. That's what puts Sacred Heart above everyone.
Well, Coach, if you want to be successful in conference play, you got to close out games. 3:04 to go, and this Sacred Heart Pioneers team has a 9-point lead on Holy Cross in their non-conference finale. A chance to close the lights out here at home and go into the holiday break with a big win.
Well, some important numbers. Both teams have 2 timeouts. Sacred Heart has a jump ball. Holy Cross is 1-3 early on in the season in games decided by 6 points or less, and Sacred Heart's 2-1.
To the cup for 2 more, Jarrell Gates. And he really parted through the defense. That was a layup line kind of basket for Jarrell Gates. 63-56. Gates has 17.
12 in the second half. And by the way, I think guys are starting to get out of his way. He's putting his head down. He's got 8 rebounds, so he's working on a double-double.
Espinal-Guzman went up and got tied up. It's a jump ball with 8 on the shot clock for Sacred Heart, and the arrow favoring them. Now 2:36 to go in the second. It's a big 8-second possession here for the Pioneers. Holy Cross gets a stop. They've got some life with their leading scorer leading the way. Nico Gillette takes the jump shot. It rims out. Defensive rebound, Bo Montgomery. Under 2.5 to go. It's Gates. Outside of Octave. Up and under. And the layup is good for Joe Octave.
I talked about Holy Cross's bench. 21 points, in the game. Octave with 17. But give Jarrell Gates credit. He had on his mind to get to the rim. He was at a bad place under the backboard. Made a beautiful, tough pass cross court. Octave shot fake. got into the lane, finished the layup.
Under 2 minutes to go, and the Pioneers turn it over. The interior pass was in the air from McGuire and into the hands of Jarrell Gates for Holy Cross. They can make it a one-possession game with 1:40 to go in regulation.
And Holy Cross has got the mismatch. You got to look inside at Gates.
Montgomery drives and lays it in. 1:30 to go, 90 seconds. A one-possession game. Sacred Heart 63, Holy Cross 60 in a non-conference battle that feels like conference play. A great tune-up for both the Crusaders and the Pioneers. And we've got a fun finish at the pit with 1:24 to go and Anthony Latina calling time. We keep it here for the end of regulation in a one-possession game.
I was very curious what Latina was going to do. With 1:24 to go and 2 timeouts left, you could very easily save that, thinking that you might need it down the stretch in the last minute, last 30 seconds. But I like that. I commend him on taking a timeout, because right now the bottom line is Holy Cross is getting to the rim too easy, so adjustment needs to be made. So while you're addressing that need, you got a chance with the ball to make sure you get a good shot.
Yeah, it's a quick little 6-0 run for Holy Cross to make it a one-possession game. Sacred Heart scoreless over the last 2 minutes, so Anthony Latina is now down to 1 timeout. Jarrell Gates, meanwhile, 5 for his last 6 from the floor, has totally taken over here in the second half. Leads all scorers with 17, 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. Pioneers with 3 in double figures, including 12 from Raheem Solomon and Mike Sixsmith. 10 now from Nico Gillette, who's 2 boards shy of a double-double himself. Big possession here. Backdoor cut. McGuire turns it over. Well, they've been threading that pass all day, but that one, that's a dangerous play if you're not spot on, and it's out of the reach of Riley.
Well, they overloaded the left side, so the lane was open. The right side, the bounce pass, instead of coming up, Randy, kind of skidded like a skid ball, never came up. Turnover, bad turnover, good opportunity for Holy Cross to tie it here or come within 1.
A 3 would tie it, 2 would get him within 1. Sixsmith and McGuire doubling down. The pass is underneath for Kenny. He lays it up. No good. Back tap out to C. He drives on the left hand. Hook shot off the glass for 2. Under a minute to go. 50 seconds left. Sacred Heart by 1. 63-62 Pioneers. McGuire. Sixsmith. He gets tied up. He keeps the possession. No foul called. He got smacked in the face. He blinks as Gillette gets it. Sees an opening. Gillette, the layup. Good! A 3-point lead for Sacred Heart. 26 seconds left. Timeout. Brett Nelson on the Holy Cross sideline.
Randy, big-time players make big-time plays. And sometimes it's not how many you make, it's
when you make them.
You got it, my friend. Gillette's been pretty quiet. That's a huge basket.
Think about Nico Gillette making that shot there. Reminiscent of the Columbia game, a non-conference battle that had a feel of a game early on in the fall. Felt like it should have been played in the spring as far as intensity. And it was Gillette who opened up a 3-point lead on the final possession, just like he did here. A lot more time, though. 25 seconds. Plenty of time here for Holy Cross with the shot clock off. Do you want a 3? I mean, they went 3 for 3 to start the half. Or do you want to keep feeding the big man and try to extend the game?
Well, I think, number one, you have another timeout left. So that's important if you're Brett Nelson. If you didn't, you might want to go for the 3. So I think you got to get a good, quick basket. Again, this is not a team that thrives on the 3-point shot. They only average about 18 per game. I mentioned that, which is not a lot. They're 3 for 13 on the afternoon. I think it's a simple ball screen, get into the lane, look to make a play, or a post ISO for Gates. Expect the immediate timeout if they make it, the immediate foul if they don't.
Are you also reminding your defensive post presence, if you're going to foul, make sure he doesn't make the shot, because what you can't give up here is a 3-point play on one of those interior passes. Was that mentioned even?
Well, Sacred Heart is only 3 fouls. They have fouls to give. So let's see if they do that.
Oh, that's a great point. Wow, they have called this one clean. 4 fouls for Holy Cross, 3 for Sacred Heart. They've let them play here in the second half.
Yeah, you don't want to foul. The ideal situation is not to foul right away. Is let them get the ball. Look, as they're going for a bat right there.
Gates denied entry by Raymond Espinal Guzman. Under 20 seconds to go. Sacred Heart by 3. And a strip of the basketball by Sixsmith, who gets it at half court and gets undercut in a dangerous play. It's a foul against Holy Cross, but Sixsmith paid the price physically to make a huge play defensively originally, and then protected offensively so that they don't turn it over with 12.5 seconds to go. But a huge steal right near, in between the circles for Sixsmith.
And Brett Nelson up on the court yelling and screaming, thought a foul was committed on the steal. I don't know why you threw the ball long. You had a chance for it to get picked off. You don't need that. You're ahead. But anyway, Holy Cross needs the foul here.
Octave, the quick foul on McGuire. And so with 11.7 seconds left on the clock, McGuire doesn't get to the line because that's only 6, so fouls to give. And that favors Holy Cross. Now, Sacred Heart set to go to the line on the next inbounds play comes to Riley. They'll put a good candidate on the line. Riley, 10.9 seconds now as the foul's committed by C. Well, they've gone 10 for 10 from the free throw line. This would not be the time for a miss. Front end of a 1-and-1 in a 3-point game for Joey Riley. Some pressure on this free throw from Riley against his old team.
Well, the beauty here is not only are they 10 for 10, but they got the ball into a young man's hand who's 88% on the year.
Boy, I mean, is he ever calm and cool? He looked like he was not fazed at all. Big free throw for Riley. Makes it a 2-possession game.
Make or miss. If you're Holy Cross, you got to get it out of net, get to the rim, call your last timeout.
10.9 left. Raymond Espinal Guzman enters for Solomon. Raymond Espinal Guzman playing big-time minutes. And Anthony Latina basically saying that he loves his defense. He's trusting him here on the floor down the stretch in the second half to come up defensively. That's the first miss from the free throw line of the game. Not a killer because the Pioneers have a 4-point lead. 7.5 to go. Fouls to give. McGuire commits one.
Yeah, it's a great foul. It's a great decision. It's only their 4th. Montgomery is probably the best on the team at taking the ball to the rim from the perimeter. You cut off his penetration. Now they got to set up and work to get a play. Not a whole lot of time left.
66-62 Pioneers. Timeout Holy Cross. That's their last.
And you still don't want a 3 here. Again, not a great 3-point shooting team. Get the ball to the rim quickly. You don't have a timeout. You can quote unquote inadvertently knock the ball away to allow your defense to set up. Remember, the clock does stop on made baskets.
I'm looking to play mistake-free for the final 7.5 seconds. And the worst thing you could do is commit a foul on a 3-point shot right now. You almost give them the inside, not totally, but you can have no fouls here. On the inside, you can't give them the chance, or I should say on the outside, you can't give them a chance for a 4-point play. Inbound with time running down. To Montgomery, he gives it up underneath. McGuire wraps it up. A foul by Gates. Free throws coming, at least a 1-and-1 for McGuire, and if he missed it, that would probably end the game with 1.5 on the clock.
Yeah, again, I like the decision Holy Cross made. Take the ball to the rim, make it a 1-possession game. Unfortunately, Montgomery was not able to finish.
So Sacred Heart's going to improve to 6-8 as McGuire looks to put a bow on this pre-Christmas gift of a game we've been treated to at the Pitt Center today. Missed the free throw, but it doesn't matter. Sacred Heart wins over Holy Cross. Final score, Sacred Heart 66, Holy Cross 62. The Pioneers snap a 5-game skid, and they go into NEC play with a victory over Holy Cross out of the Patriot League that sees their losing streak extend to 4 and their record drop to 3-10. So, Joe, New Year's comes early in college basketball for both the Pioneers and the Crusaders. Sacred Heart begins the most important games of their schedule, NEC play, December 29th. A week from today, a 2 p.m. start against Stonehill. A matinee here from the Pitt Center that you and I will be on, so I look forward to that. Holy Cross, they'll begin conference play at home the day after, Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. when they host Bucknell to begin Patriot League play. That was fun, and it's a great sign for Sacred Heart. Certainly a great effort to go into NEC play to win a game like this.
Well, anytime you lose 5 in a row and you're going into your break, it's doubly better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's great to win anytime. It's great to break streaks. And when you're going into break where you have a lot of days to think about the prior game, in this case 7 games a whole week, you're feeling pretty good about your team. And if you're Anthony Latina, you got to like his team. They're not fully healthy. They came out early. Defensively, they were good. They created some easy baskets. I thought they make some big stops and big plays at the end to hold on.
And it's a real feel-good day. How about that? The players, rather than going to the locker room, they're going to go greet the kids on their way out. The students that came for a field trip that were treated to this game make the memorable experience all the more with a greeting and a happy holidays wishes from the Sacred Heart Pioneer basketball team to the kids. So, final score, Sacred Heart 66, Holy Cross 62. Joe, Merry Christmas to you. I won't say Happy New Year because I'll see you in a week before New Year's Eve, and it will be the new year. It'll be conference basketball in the NEC, and this is the kind of game that gets you really excited for it.
No doubt. And Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Keep that diet going. Don't eat too much.
Yeah, no promises.
And I'll see you in a week.
All right. And to our crew, Shannon Torres and the whole crew, happy holidays, and our thanks to them for a great production today with a limited lineup, a depleted roster, but they really dug down and put together a great show. Final score from the Pitt Center, Sacred Heart 66, Holy Cross 62. For Joe DeSantis, Randy Brochu, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you on December 29th for Sacred Heart and Stonehill to begin NEC play. So long, everybody.